If you watched Nickelodeon and Disney Channel from the mid-2000s to the early 2010s, then you may have picked up on a common theme among almost all their shows from that period. Hannah Montana, Sunny with a Chance, iCarly, Victorious, Big Time Rush, Shake It Up, all of those revolve around becoming famous. iCarly is about 3 kids who run a popular web show. Big Time Rush is about a group of friends who start a boy band and move to Hollywood and make it big. Hannah Montana is about a regular teen girl who lives a secret life as a pop star. It's not super surprising that these shows were wildly successful, especially because during this time, fame was becoming more attainable to the average person. In the 90s and 2000s, reality TV was becoming globally popular. Also, in 2002, American Idol premiered, and other singing-based competition shows followed not long after. And most importantly, in 2005, YouTube launched, which made fame the most accessible it had ever been up until that point. Think about how many celebrities became quickly famous through YouTube, such as Justin Bieber and Rebecca Black. In 2011, UCLA came out with a study that examined the values of popular preteen TV shows from 1967 to 2007, and it found that in 2007, fame was the #1 value communicated to preteens in these programs. This is a sharp contrast to earlier decades that ranked feeling part of a community as their #1 or #2 value. I found a lot of articles from 2011 and 2012 that were made in response to this study, and a lot of people were really concerned. And they were talking this represented the breakdown of society. They talked about how in the 90s, the children's programming was about kids being kids and taught important values. These articles said that kids were now interested in fame for its own sake, rather than because they were interested in developing a particular skill. And that kids were internalizing the message that anyone can be famous and at a very young age with no connection to any particular skill or hard work. Some articles argued that these shows about fame were teaching kids narcissistic values. While I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the alarmist points that some of these articles are making, I do think it's interesting to compare these children's shows that center around fame with the adult shows that were also airing during this time period. For example, if we think of The Office, Parks and Recreation, Modern Family, Arrested Development, these shows were based around finding happiness and entertainment in the mundane, in average 9-to-5 jobs, or just hanging out with friends and family. In contrast, these kid shows inspired audiences to aspire beyond the 9-to-5 lifestyle pipeline, and instead making a living off a hobby that you love and doing stuff that is fun and creative for the rest of your life.